for context, we agreed to play 4 games with Tomb and 2 games with Populate. Weirdly, he was the one who suggested playing with Populate, and I suggested Tomb. I have now won all of the Populate games and lost all of the Tomb games. Which does bode poorly for this game. Let's see what we've got going on here. So we got trashing with Butcher or Trade Route or Sacrifice. Village is just Wandering Minstrel. No, that's not true. Sacrifice can be a village if you kill action cards with it. But mostly Wandering Minstrel. We've got Draw, Library or Tactician, plus buys, Trade Route, or Tactician. So where does this go? My initial inclination is to say that you build a big double Tactician deck with lots of highways. And then you'll be scoring a lot with trashing things anyway. And eventually you get provinces to very cheap and then buy a bunch of them. I'm inclined to build towards that. I think that means opening with... I think I want an Overlord. I would like to have a Butcher going into my first shuffle. I could open Overlord directly. I think probably better would be to take one of these 4 costs and then Overlord. Sacrifice, perhaps? Wandering Minstrel. Like if I see Overlord and a Wandering Minstrel turn 3, I'm really happy. If I see Overlord turn 3 and not Wandering Minstrel, I'm really happy. But if I see Wandering Minstrel and Overlord turn 4, or if I see Wandering Minstrel turn 3 and Overlord turn 4, I think those are less desirable outcomes. I think I'll just go for the Sacrifice. If it doesn't collide with my Overlord, then that's just a good scenario to be in. And it doesn't, which is good. Yeah, I mean, given my actual draw, I'm happy with the Sacrifice. This would have been worse if it was Minstrel. I'm not totally sure if it's better in the abstract or not. Where is the Overlord at? Maybe I spoke too soon in saying this was better. Oh, he went for the Tactician already. That's interesting. I was thinking the first play is Butcher. But he disagrees. Alas, you can't play Overlord as Highway. I mean, you can, but you only get the +1 card, +1 action effect. You don't get the while this is in play, cards cost 1 less effect. Because if you play the Overlord as the Highway, while you've played a Highway, there's no actual Highway in play. The Highway stays in the supply. So you don't get any while this is in play effects. We will play the Minstrel. I think I just want to draw here. What? I had a 2/3 chance there of drawing my Overlord, in which case I could have butchered an estate. That was just a bit unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. Alright, take 2. This is probably going to be the same thing. This time it's at least guaranteed. I could consider, instead of trashing twice, I could like play Overlord as a library and draw a bunch. But I think I value trashing twice more, right? I've got 4 coppers down there. Actually, no, I think I like the library play more, don't I? It just gives me a nice clean shuffle, which seems really good. Did I say clean shuffle? I meant bottom deck 1 card. Whoopsie. Oh well, cleaner shuffle. And now I'll take a Wandering Minstrel. So they've had a big turn because of Tactician. Probably accomplish a lot here. I could consider doing the same on my turn right now. I could also just play this as Wandering Minstrel. What are the cards down there? Minstrel, Sacrifice, Overlord, 3 coppers, and an estate. I'd be happy if I drew any of the actions, but that's only 42% likely to happen. Maybe I just sacrifice a copper and buy another Wandering Minstrel. I like that as well. Wow. Where are my action cards at? I bottom deck both my Minstrel and my Sacrifice, which is a little bit disappointing. Kind of kills the turn a bit. I would have loved to play like Minstrel and then Library, but that is not an opportunity available to me. I think I want to draw those. Let's take another Minstrel. What I want to do in the near future is just throw training on Wandering Minstrel, and I think that should cover all of my economy concerns for quite a while. And that's just going to require me to have like one good turn here. I've got 4 coppers left in the deck. If I sacrifice 1, that's 5 money. And then I could butcher an estate into like a vassal or a trade route, and that would get me to 6. Well, vassal will get me past 6, but all I need is 6. He does like greedily clicking overlords whenever he can. Admittedly, I have that habit too. I like Overlord. It's a very flexible card and a pretty fun card. There's a downside, of course, which is if you're playing it as like cheapish cards anyway, like Wandering Minstrel, then you're getting your Minstrels for 8 debt instead of just 4 money, which is more expensive. And so it can occasionally be a bad habit. I do it anyway a lot, though. The advantage, I mean, it's not like an obvious mistake or anything. There's an upside to it, which is like if you're hitting like 1 or 2, say, and you're at the bottom of your shuffle, buying an Overlord immediately, even if it costs more than buying the Minstrel outright next turn, it gets it into your deck a turn sooner, where it potentially can pay off earlier. And that's usually the main argument in favor of buying Overlords aggressively, is if you're low on money, you might as well get something into the shuffle over nothing. I've done a little bit less of that here, and so I'm hoping it'll pay off. Oops, somebody is unmuted. And they're gone again. Okay, so we sack a copper. Didn't draw the estates before, so we'll draw them now. And we butcher an estate into... I mean, Vassal plays really nicely with Wandering Minstrel, and it gives me more money. But I'm not sure I need the money yet. I might just want the plus buy that Trade Route gives. I'm inclined to say that's correct. And then very soon we'll be entering the period of the game where I want to be playing a tactician every single turn. I wonder if there's something to be said for Bandit plus Butcher as the payload instead of Highways. And Highway is a phenomenal payload card when you have plus buy. The plus buy here is okay with Tactician. And Trade Route's like mediocre. Bandit plus Butcher, I think it gets going a little bit faster because you don't need as many cards, like you need to acquire a ton of Highways or anything. Although it's weaker in the long run. You could potentially mitigate that by milling the provinces with Butcher, trashing province into province to try to bring the game to a close. It's possible that's faster. And you can, of course, do that even with double Tactician. Tactician normally doesn't like treasures at all. But if you gain the gold bandit and then butcher it the same turn, that's not really an issue. So it's not ridiculous to say maybe bandit butcher is a thing to do here. I kind of feel like the answer is just highways, though. Okay, so he's already got the double tactician thing going. I want to do that this turn, I think. I would like to use one of these two overlords as a tactician. And then maybe buy a actual tactician this turn. Ooh, plus coin on overlord. Interesting. So I think I'm playing one of these overlords as a library. Is that right? I mean, actually, what am I even drawing with it? If the only card in my deck that I still value is the Minstrel, I could actually just play it as Vassal and get more money that way. That sounds better. Maybe I spoke too soon. That might have been a mistake. I now can't play both the sacrifice and the trade route. That actually might be fine. Maybe I don't even want to play the sacrifice that much. Just on account of I am happy to have cards to trash the trade route in the future. So I think I'll be okay. I mean, I could pass up playing Tactician one more turn. Like, that's not unreasonable. I could just, like, play Overlord as a bandit or something. I don't know. I do really want to get a Tactician down, though, as soon as I can. I think I'm going to delay the Tactician another turn, even if that's a little bit sad. And then I think this is just bandit. And then we can do like Minstrel Vassal, Tactician Overlord, something along those lines. Minstrel Overlord. I think I like Minstrel Vassal. That adds a lot of money. Right, this turn for sure, though, something's getting played as Tactician. I think I want to spend... Oh, you know what I can do? I think I can play one of these Tacticians as a Butcher. I'll butcher the gold into a Tactician, and then I can play the actual Tactician, and then my Overlord doesn't get stuck outside of play as a Tactician. I think that's my current plan. He's already got Highway. That's a concern, of course. I don't want to get too behind on the highways. Like, the argument for delaying Tactician is I don't really need the draw. The argument against it that's going to come up is I do kind of need the plus buy. He's let his Tactician lapse, however. And so next turn he will not have one. That's something of a positive for me. Okay, there's a Vassal down there and then a bunch of coppers. I wish I would have drawn one of the coppers so I could trash it immediately. No biggie though. I think we're going to go ahead with our play Tactician plan. This might leave me... This is actually going to work out fine on actions, isn't it? I think this should work out fine. I just need to skip the Tactician, and now I can play the Tactician via the Vassal. And I don't know. It still doesn't quite work. I wanted to play Sacrifice, Trade Route, Vassal, and Tactician. And I've set it up to resolve the action problem of that thing. Because now I can play Vassal and hit Tactician. But I need to make sure there's at least one card left in my hand for Tactician to discard. So I still can't play both the Sacrifice and the Trade Route. Maybe just another Vassal and another Overlord. I think I'm happy getting the next Tactician for next turn, mid-turn again with like Bandit plus Butcher. I do want to get those highways though. I gotta get those going. I could spin the coffers and do like Highway Vassal. I could do Vassal Overlord, Highway Overlord. A lot of options. If I put myself 7 in debt, will I still be able to afford things next turn? Like I'll have 3 buys to use, and I'd like to utilize them to their fullest extent. So maybe I should not buy an Overlord, because the debt seems rather onerous. In that case, Highway Vassal seems like a more appealing line. And now the main goal for this turn is I want to make sure I gain and play Tactician before the end of this turn, which will most likely involve playing one Overlord as a Bandit and the other as a Butcher, I think. Seems like it'll be the easiest way to do that. I'm not sure if I'm in the lead. I'm going to guess that I have a marginal lead just on account of being player 1. But I feel like his position seems pretty okay as well. He's up in highways, which is definitely something to worry about. Okay, Highway Tactician, that seems pretty fine as well. Okay, so we're going to gain ourselves a gold. Vassal to play the Minstrel. Play it, draw the gold. So then I can play Overlord as Butcher, gain the Tactician, Vassal the Tactician. That'll all work out fine. In which case I can hold off on playing the Overlord for a moment. I think I can just kill this Sacrifice now. I don't think it's really helping me much. Actually, let me undo that. What if I butcher the Sacrifice into a Butcher, then I draw the Butcher, then I butcher the gold into a Tactician, and then I Vassal the Tactician. That doesn't let me play my Trade Route, but I don't really need to play the Trade Route that badly this turn anyway, do I? I'd rather get a Butcher, I think, than play the Trade Route. I think I can get the best of both worlds here if I don't play this Minstrel either. Let's gain the Butcher, play that, and now this should all work out okay. If my computer doesn't freeze. Come on now. There we go. Computer froze there for a second. I don't know if I disconnected or anything. Okay, so now I want 2 more highways, I think. And an overlord. Could also just be a vassal. Or, no, it can't be a minstrel. I can't afford minstrel. It's definitely 2 highways. I know I'm clicking that. I could buy in a copper just to trash. Seems pretty reasonable. That actually might be better than buying the overlord. Yeah, I don't want the debt at this point. I don't know. I might be behind. We're equal on highways, but it's his turn, and that's something concerning. I feel like in things other than highways, though, I've got a little bit of a lead. I've got more the... Do I have more of the minstrels? I think I have more of the minstrels. He played 2 on his turn. I played... Uh-oh. No, I played 3 minstrels on my turn and discarded 1. Yeah, I've got 4 of the minstrels to his 2. I don't know. It's close. It's hard to call here. Just getting those vassals off. I do kind of have the sneaking suspicion. It just kind of feels like he's sort of stolen the initiative of player 1. I kind of feel like player 2 at the moment, despite being player 1. In which case, that would mean I'm a little bit behind. You know, like I've gotten to highways, or I've gotten to 3 highways the same turn he's gotten to 3 highways, but I was the second one to do it. It's like a player 2 situation to be in. Yeah, if I lose this one, I will have lost every game that has Tomb in it. Although I will have won every game that had Populate in it. So I guess I should consider banning Tomb and then asking Psychomatic or E-Honda for a Populate cage match. I couldn't bring myself to ban Tomb. It's such a fun card. Well, it's not a card. It's such a fun landmark. All right, he's got a 4th highway already. He's still only got 2 buys at the moment, which makes it a little bit difficult to take full advantage of. But he still has the Butcher for extra gains. That feels like a wrong play order. I'm not sure it's going to matter at all. But he played the Butcher and discarded the Overlord rather than the reverse. And the Overlord gives you a coin. Like, you could have played the Overlord as Butcher, and since he has training on it, he would have gotten 1 extra coin out of that. To whatever extent that matters. Put the Vassal on top. Okay. I mean, piles aren't super low here, but I do worry about him rushing down provinces if I don't contest them soon. I think I need to bandit again. Like, what I really kind of need in the deck is just, like, things to trash. I've got this 1 copper. That's not a lot for, like, a Butcher and a trade route to go around. And yeah, I'm overdrawing here quite extensively. Do I want a double province? Can he do 5 provinces? He might be able to do that. He's got 2 buys, and he's got 2 butchers. That's 4. He's got an overlord. Yeah, a 5 province turn is actually sounding kind of within his grasp. I might just lose next turn. That would suck. I don't know how to fix that though. I could butcher the gold into a butcher, play overlord as bandit, draw both of those, butcher the gold again, and then buy some stuff at the end of all that. That sounds okay. I think that's going to be the best line for me. I have to consider whether I want to draw with Minstrel or Highway. I think the answer might be Minstrel. If I plan on playing Butcher, Trader, and Tactician, then I'll need the actions. What am I butchering the gold into? I'm not totally sure. Whatever it is, I think I'm just going to draw it with Highway and then discard it with Tactician, so it doesn't matter too much. It could be Duchy. That would power up my trade route. That's kind of cute. Let's take a Duchy. It's always important to power up your trade route. Super important advice there. I think I've got to take 1 province. I don't think he can do 7, and even if he could do 7, I don't think I could beat it if he did. So I think maybe I do like province double Duchy. Because I don't think he can do like true 5 provinces. I think maybe he could do like 5 provinces by trashing province into province with Butcher. And if he does that, then I might still be posed to outscore him. So I think I'm just going to do province Duchy Duchy. And Duchy's being low isn't a worry because there's no other piles that are all that low. I hope he can't do 6. I can't fully rule that out, but I sure hope he can't do that. And then I think if he touches provinces at all, but like only a little bit, then I should probably be fine. I think my deck could do 5. I've got 2 butchers in here, plus some overlords, plus no obligation to play the tactician, so I could like butcher this tactician into province. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm winning or not. I think it's going to depend almost entirely on crabcat's turn right here. If he can do 6 provinces, he wins. I think he can't without having counted that at all. And if he can't, then I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot now. Yeah, I don't think he has enough gains for this, does he? I could be wrong. Oh, maybe he just has it. He seems to have counted this. Yeah, he must have it. Dang it. I was hoping he couldn't do that. But he's got another overlord down there, which should be enough. Yeah, trap. Okay, well. That's the match. Maybe the correct answer then was to not take any provinces at all. Maybe I should have taken 0 provinces. I'm not sure I could beat 6 provinces, though. GG's. Yeah, I won every game with Populate and lost every game with Tomb. I don't know what that says, but that was the outcome.